and welcome to the Papyrus TV. I am your host, Francis Favor, and today we are going to be meeting with a successful man, a man who has walked through thick and thins. I'm talking about no other person than an actor, a director, a script writer, a mentor. This is no other person than the custodian of Script to Screen Africa, a bright wonder. Viewers, come with me, let's meet him. Great having you, sir.
Yeah, good to have you too.
Just tell us about you.
Okay, so my name is Bright Wonder Obin Obasi. I'm a filmmaker, writer, producer, director, acting coach.
Okay, so how was growing up like?
My question is ambiguous. Growing up was, I grew up in the midst of 5 sisters, only guys. So I grew up in the midst of women. Does that make me like women? Yeah, I like women. But not in the wrong way. So I had 5 sisters and myself, the boy. Of course, I went to primary, secondary school, then university. And I think I had a good childhood, I would say, because I didn't have to bother about a lot of things I think people go through. So I think my childhood was pretty good because I didn't have to go through what lots of people went through. There are people that never had their parents. Maybe some had just one, some were molested, I think I didn't experience a couple of that. I grew up as a church boy, so I think that was the greatest thing. So growing up in God was the highest, or the greatest thing in my foundation, yeah.
So what motivated you to go into film?
Because I realized film was my strength. I didn't know I was going to be a filmmaker because actually I studied chemical engineering. But somewhere I realized that film is what I wanted to do because I haven't tried 1, 2, 3. It's my strength. I could sing, I could play football, but film was something different. So I made a decision sometime in my 3rd year to focus on film, and that's what I've done since 2003.
So tell us about your challenges as a filmmaker.
Well, I think my challenges, I would say it's not new to most filmmakers. You always have that challenge of first believing in yourself, believing that you can do this, believing it will work out. Because sometimes when you start out as a filmmaker, especially starting out as a writer, because that's how I started out in film community, you would ask yourself, is this really what can put food on my table? Are you sure this is what I really want to do and all that? So it was difficult having to convince yourself first that this is what you want to do. Then secondly, you face society. For someone who is sent to go to school to study chemical engineering, come out, get a good job in NNPC, Shell and the rest of them, and you now want to go back to convince these people that what you thought about me was wrong, or what I thought about myself was wrong. So going to do that, convincing was a huge part of it. But I think my parents are the best because I would categorically say they never stopped me at any point. Even when I shared it, it's not as though they fell in love with it immediately, but I think they didn't stop me. They were bothered, but being bothered didn't make them stop me or tell me don't do this. All they did also was support. They encouraged me to still, pursue my academic pursuits, but they still didn't stop me doing this. So for me, I think that was good. So those were the basic challenges. And of course, starting out as a young filmmaker, you have this big challenge of getting people to believe in you, believe in what you can do. So I couldn't get people to believe in me that I can make their film at that point. You don't expect someone to put in 3, 4, 5 million into making a film and give you a rookie director to test run. No, you don't expect that. But I started somehow. How did I start? I had to write script. I could write script. So let them, at least, you don't need 3 million to write a script. If you can do it, it's in your head. So I was able to do that to prove to you that first I could write. So I was given opportunities to write. I did the first, did the second, did the third. In fact, the first I didn't get credit for it. Second, I didn't get credit for it. Not to talk about being paid. So I did films, I wrote films I wasn't paid for. But at some point I started getting paid. And getting paid, I started assisting. And assisting, today I'm director. So
that's huge. So you went into the industry as a filmmaker. Why decide to go into acting?
Acting, I didn't, before I even started as a filmmaker, I was acting. Yeah, so church has always been the foundation. So we acted in church drama. Yeah, we pulled that one. So it started like acting in church drama, then writing for church drama, and then when the whole film thing started, I was acting and writing. And when I started directing, I realized I had more passion for behind the scene, which is the directing stuff I do. So as much as I'm good acting, I may not always want to find myself in front of the screen because my passion lies behind the screen.
Okay. So tell us about your challenges in making movies and how many movies have you produced so far?
So far I've produced 8 movies. I've directed about the same number of movies, even though the ones I produced and directed are about 6, but I've directed some other people's work. And challenges for me making movies, it's the greatest challenge every filmmaker in Nigeria faces, and that's the problem of how do you get your film sold, or how do you make your money back. It's a challenge every one of us face, because in the long run, it's not just about making film. Or at the beginning, I just want to get my work out there. I want people to know I could do this, but that's really not the case now. The case now is that I have staff and lots of people who work for the studio and they need to be paid. So when we make products, films, series, we want to be sure the money is going to come back. So for me, that's the greatest challenge we face, because our industry is still bogged with piracy and generally distribution in general.
So we all know actors are snobbish and hard to come by, and you've worked with the biggest of them in the industry. How did you get them to come by? How did you do it?
Well, I know people say actors they have. I don't think there's anybody that don't have character. There's no professional in any field. Lots of, whether it's is a singer, is a dancer, is a rapper, whatever they are. Once people are skilled, they are bound to have certain kind of ego, and if they have some personal character traits that are unpleasant, it will still be there. So it's not just about them being actors. And also being a celebrity isn't funny, isn't easy. You get to deal with lots of people. Like if you see their Instagram handles and Facebook, some people go to those pages and talk rubbish, crap. So they also build a defense wall around themselves. So there are a lot of factors that play out. But generally, if you want to get them to do your work, they want to do jobs they like, or some may want to do the job because of the money. So if you have the money, pay them the money to do the job. If you're a purpose-driven filmmaker who wants to always achieve, this particular idea or concept you built for a story, then you want to get actors who can really interpret that. I don't really think actors are snobbish or whatever. I know there are a couple of them that have attitudes that may not be very pleasant to deal with. Yeah, but I think this thing is also a two-way traffic. Action, will I say necessitates reactions, but also how you react to people's action matters. If you're trying to push someone down and the person is already down, you can't push the person down. So the way you approach people also matter. For me, if you come on to me to stop me, I'm already unstoppable, so you can't really stop me. So as much as possible, in the most peaceful, pleasant way possible, I'll still make my decisions and my whatever I've designed, I'll still make it known, and I always want to drive it home. So in my career, I don't think I've dealt with arrogant actors. Not because I've not dealt with some of them who have been termed arrogant, but I think the way I work, I don't even give an opportunity for such arrogance to play. It's not a hard way, right? It's just my own simple way of doing things. And trust me, people will respond to you the way you respond to them. So if they give you shit, you don't fight on that shit, they may find it unnecessary to put more. So if you come with trouble and I don't face you back with trouble, rather I go my way, you may not need to chase me anymore. You just let me be.
Okay. So can you tell us what motivated the move script to screen?
Script to screen basically is to give an opportunity to people who are passionate about filmmaking for impact. So it's not just that you're passionate to make film. You want to use film to create positive change. That's what Script to Screen it's about. So with the project each year, we're always looking out for people who want to make an impact using film. So we give them an opportunity to come on board, train them, mentor them, and also provide an opportunity for them to showcase their talent. Will your talent be showcased? Yeah, it will be. But that shouldn't be your drive. Your drive will be to create impact using film. So when the platform will always be there for you. But first, the purpose is what drives the project.
So there's this recent If I Am President. What inspired that?
Yeah, it was inspired because, right now we have a new president. So we needed to talk about the fact that Nigeria will run.
From the beginning of your campaign, all you keep chanting is corruption-free Nigeria. You think we are not fighting corruption enough? Are we not tired?
It's a digital age, and the power to wield this age is in the hand of the young people.
It is one thing to keep complaining about the problems. It is a whole other thing to stand up when it matters most.
If these attacks continue, we will have no choice but to protest. We shall show them who owns Nigeria.
22.
Who is this Zila?
I'm from a polygamous home.
A small boy.
Welcome to the Nigeria presidential nomination debate.
To move Nigeria forward, we must call a spade a spade.
But of millions that have fallen for this country, how many have been truly celebrated as heroes?
There's absolutely nothing wrong with Nigeria that cannot be fixed by what is right.
You will be president someday. Only then would you realize what it takes to sit here as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Nigeria will rise or fall based on leadership. I think what has plagued us for a long while is leadership. So we deemed it necessary to do a film at this time that talks about leadership in general, not just the presidency, but leadership. We use the word "if I'm president" because wherever you sit as a leader in this nation, you're a president. So what you do with that space matters. It leads the country forward or backwards. So generally, that's what inspired "if I'm president."
Okay. So is there any recent project you're working on?
Currently, if we say recent projects, I don't know the one to mention because we're really working on a lot of things currently, yes. There are many of them.
That's great. So what advice would you give to our youth out there who wants to be filmmakers?
If you want to be a filmmaker, I would say two things. One, do you want to be a commercial filmmaker? If it's just about the money, good, it's okay. Just what you need to do is learn the arts and the business of filmmaking. Study it very well because there's always a place for learning. Don't just jump into things you don't know. You're going to make lots of mistakes. Some may cost you and even land you in jail. So before you start telling people to give you 3 million to make a film and you give them 7 million back, you need to understand how the industry works. You need to be trained. You need to be mentored. That training could be like maybe a film school or an acting school, or you go learn. If you don't have all those finance to go to film school, you learn under somebody, some form of internship or something. Go do such learning. So you need to gain experience before you start practicing. That's what I'm saying in a nutshell. Then another set of filmmakers I want to talk to are those filmmakers who, for them, film is beyond just entertaining people or making money. You feel that film can create impact. You believe film has the power to change the world. I think you should try and build yourself more to really hold on to your beliefs, hold on to your vision. Because for me, that's my vision. I believe film can change the world. I believe film can make Nigeria a better place. If you've watched films that touched you, it means you can also watch more films that shapes your mind. The Western world used film to shape our minds. So here in Nigeria, we can also use film to shape minds and change how people think in our country. So I believe we can use film to change minds in our country. Rather than speaking out the bad ones, we can speak the good ones, right? So if you're interested in making films, you can also start thinking in the line of making such films.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It's a great having you.
And you too, thank you.
You have heard it all from our all-famous filmmaker. I am sure you've learned a thing or two. As for me, I learned that you should go for what you have passion for. And don't forget to subscribe by hitting...
I don't plan on being one.
This is not the real Nigeria.
They're just using you to achieve their evil aim. There's something wrong.
I give you 2 minutes to disperse this assembly, or I'll be compelled to responsible measures.
They tried to wipe my family away.
Oh, we're not starving.
I know.
We don't stop when we're tired, Daddy. We stop when we're done.
A child does not go asking who killed his father.
Una will walk